Om Sadashiva-Samarambham Shankaracharya-Madhyamam Asmadacharya-Paryantam Vande Guru-Paramparam Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheswara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Phunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahi Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. As we have been discussing this text, which talks how to manage yourself while looking at your body and mind through breathing pattern. So we discussed a few points that if you look at this Ida, which is in the left side, and of course Ida always helps to sprinkle, to spread the nectar day and night. Means how this heavenly Ganges, divine Ganges, is a very soothing, very energetic, very purifying. So also this Ida Nadi does all these things put together in the body. So that's why one also need to be aware of this. And of course, as you start looking at that, so this Ida Nadi, the flow that keeps flowing, the energy flow that keeps moving, it's like completely white in color. So that is what is being highlighted, milk rays. So that whiteness, and of course it brings purest joy, and of course says that it enters through the whole of Ida and with the blessings of moon. And also we saw that there is Surya. So when there is moon on the top, bottom there is Surya. Verse number 9. Merumule sthita Surya kala dwadasa samyutah dakshinopathi rasmibhihi vahati urdham prajapati. So at the bottom of Meru there is a sun, and here having 12 colors. So when moon, the Chandra on the top facing downwards, having 8 colors, here the sun facing upward is having 12 colors, and in the right side of the Meru, there is a nadi called a Pingala. So left side Ida, right side Pingala. And Pingala carries the fluid, and again the Lord of creature Prajapati, and through this fluid now it pushing up. So one is down, one is up. So this energy keeps moving, and says beautifully, verse number 10, I think we stopped there. Piyusha rasminiryasam dhatumscha grashati dhruvam samira mandale suryah brahmate sarva vigrahe piyusha rasminiryasam dhatumscha grasati dhruvam samira mandale suryah brahmate sarva vigrahe. Now says beautifully, if you look at this Surya, what it does, it literally burns, it literally eats up, it literally destroys the vital secretions. And of course, what it does is, the rays extruded nectar. Now when Ida, whatever Ida does, now we can see this is Surya now destroys. So when this, please understand, now when it starts really destroying it because of its heat, now what is to be done is, now together with this whole ambience, now sun also keeps moving it. So how it happens exactly, if you observe, it's a very nice thing to really observe. See that left side, when you start really observing your breathing, for example, when you do especially continuously pranayama through left nostril, just allowing only left nostril. You can take, retain and release through the left. So continuously you need to do this. Sometimes we do this for at least 1 hour continuously. You will discover the body becomes so cold, mind becomes so calm. It's an entirely different thing altogether. Because I personally feel sometimes to be done. These are the texts actually done in such an atmosphere so that you do not spend time. One concept you have to spend time. Then only you start enjoying the text in a better way. Then what we do is giving, because of course the deity, food aspect and other things are there. Then we do teach only right side continuously. Only right nostril. And see how it works. Especially when you have a lot of agony and you don't have that much confidence in you. You don't feel something really that you are accepted, respected well. There is some type of low esteem in you which is nowadays common. So just keep using right nostril, allowing the Surya to be stronger. Once the Surya is strong, I will give you a beautiful concept from my observation. As long as Your Jataragni. Jataragni means the fire that burns all your food. So Jatra means stomach, the fire in stomach. As long as your fire in your stomach is strong, that long you are an energetic person. If there is some confusion in you, the Jataragni slows down. Jataragni loses its brilliance and power, and which medical science also says indirectly. This is how they have picked up, nothing much. That's why if you go to any this allopathy doctor, if any disease, what they do say, they try to ask to see your tongue, open your mouth. So what does it mean? Because tongue is connected to your Jataragni. So if the food is digested or not properly, will be reflected on your tongue. And this is not the time to do all these things, okay? This is the time to listen to. Don't do many things at a time, okay? So, here, so what I am trying to say is, the day your Jataragni is strong, you will discover that day you feel good, your energy is really good. That's why a yogi makes sure that yogi's Jataragni always should be high. Anything and everything a yogi is supposed to bunt. That's why we have a beautiful concept. Goes to Rishi Agastya. I hope, because these are the stories part, looks very awkward. That is how people misinterpret without knowing the yogic tradition. Because Yogi Agastya is not an ordinary person who is believed that he is still alive. Because the story goes about him that when a great occasion, when everybody, all the deity and all the rishis had to come to north, some imbalance had to take place, like a flight. Remember, in the flight, if everybody is in the front, there is no, all the seats are vacant in back. What do? Do they do the seat arrangement differently or not? They ask you to go back and get adjusted or not? Or else a flight cannot move. So also, remember, all these things that was there in the part of this thing, now what we see. So when all the great saints, all the great tapasvis, when they moved to north, so they understood there will be very big issue with south, unless that is balanced. So who should go to south? Then Agastya was asked, because if he alone can go, he can manage. That sort of personality he is. So the Rishi Agastya was sent to south. Means that sort of person. In one incident, just I am trying to say, there were two brothers called Atapi and Vatapi. So this Atapi and Vatapi, they were very powerful in the sense, what they do, their job is, whoever comes, especially rishis or human beings or anybody on the way, they will invite them to have food. So when they invite them to have food, of course any rishis or anything, they will be very happy when somebody is hosting. So one of the brother, especially Vatapi, what does he do? He will kill his brother. So this Atapi kills his brother and makes food out of that and serves the person. So once the person eats, Then what happens? He will call from inside, hey, Atapi, come out. Now inside, because he had that sort of power, so everything, all the limbs and everything will join together even if it is cooked. Now finally it will burst and the person will die. And it was a very bad thing, because you cannot be a host and being a host and you cannot do all these things, because guest has to be taken care of properly. Atithi devo bhava. So being host, it is not acceptable. Then people started losing hope on hosts. Nobody wanted to be guest. Everybody started having their doubts. This is the problem happens. Because what we do, it is exactly like, I'm sorry to say, if I do something wrong, definitely there will be a question mark for all of you with reference to anybody. However, here it says very carefully and clearly that there was a big issue how to look at, how to handle. And of course, this is the point to communicate finally, that Agastya goes. Agastya knows this is the situation. In fact, somebody said, now don't go, this is what they will do it. They will plead you, and being a sadhu, even if you know something wrong, you will not listen to them, you will listen what they say. You will not listen to yourself, you listen to them because somebody invites you. Please don't go. Agastya said, don't worry. And everything was arranged, and food was arranged. Finally, he ate. This is the wrong part. People will say, oh, he ate meat. But what he did, that don't know. Okay, you can eat and you can behave like that. That they will not say. Then finally, after eating, what he did, he put his hand on his stomach and said, Batapi jirno bhava. May you get digested. And when he is calling, Batapi, come out, come out, come out. Now poor fellow is already digested. And there was a curse between both of them. If one dies, other will die. As long as, because they have to be alive, both of them together. And of course, other fellows dies. Coming back, this is the point. The fire should be that strong in you. Because if you want to really make very energetic person, you have to make your fire stronger. And how to make fire strong? Because I am little bit going aside. Because this is the most important aspect for you people first. It is exactly like, just observe. Because problem with you people, how many people have used or are having habit of firewood fire? Because you people are born with gas. So you people think life is gas. You understand? Just turn switch on. Or electricity, everything should happen. You do not learn anything. Just observe when you make this, in olden days, when they make this firewood, and they cook, especially ladies, what they do is, they cannot afford to push more number of wood inside. There should be sufficient gap for air. Even if the wood is wet, I have seen many cases. Even if wood is wet, if it is being put properly in a order, following a particular rule, even if the wet wood will burn very well. So one should make sure, like how this, especially ladies, take care of the cooking place with the firewood, keeps it running. And interestingly, especially those who are in Italians, those who run pizzeria, that pizza oven, there is a trick. If you put little more, smoke will be full of smoke. You cannot do anything. Something really to see, to learn that aspect carefully. And every bit of fire is being used. Towards the end, what they do, if nothing, put some dough so that it will become bread tomorrow. That is the last moment they do it. So also in India I have seen ladies, they do take care of everything. When everything comes down, I have noticed, do you know what they do is in India? They keep the milk. And sometimes whole night milk will be there. Some extra milk will be there, and slowly it will keep boiling, and next day morning, sometimes if it is more milk, it will become less. Looks like, you know, yellow color. In fact, that they keep to make this ghee. Okay, what I am trying to highlight here is the fire is to be maintained. So, as the food is one of the important aspects for this body, we also need to choose what sort of food we eat and when to eat, how to eat. How much water we should drink. All these things have to be planned. A yogi must be aware of all these things first, to make sure that your Jatragni has to be stronger. There is no choice, there is no other option. Even if it is required to go for fasting for few days, please understand, even if it is required to go for fasting for few days, makes no difference. I would say here openly, if the malam is stronger in you, both physical and mental, the tamas, if it is stronger in you, both physical and mental, go for fasting. Drink some water just to maintain yourself, not to have unwanted situations. In fact, without water you can do that, which is actually much better. Because when you do without water, I have seen, see, these are the small things, it was their part of it. Especially in Orissa case, I am just trying to share this point. Those days I used to also wonder how it is possible. Because in India especially, all over the world it is like this. When there is a festival, any religious festival, all over the world is little different, but India is entirely different. Ladies have to work more. Because a lot of food they have to prepare. Many people keep coming, whether they eat or not. But this is a difference in India. Other countries at least, you know, okay, they eat, they do all these things. In India, all these religious festival, that day they have to do fasting. And some of the festivals, like for example on Shivaratri day, I have seen many people in Orissa, ladies especially, from morning till that particular main puja is not done, which is night after 12 o'clock. They don't, swallow their saliva by mistake. They are so conscious, they will not swallow the saliva to make sure that they are not drinking anything. Because when you know your mouth or throat dries, so automatically some saliva starts coming or something. That is not allowed. What I am trying to say is, these are the things was a part of the culture. For example, a person by default, minimum 2 days fasting, both Ekadashi, 11th day of moon. Because now we have forgotten what is Ekadashi. In India, people do not know what is Ekadashi and when it falls, even though we are technologically more advanced. Because on Ekadashi day, just I am giving you these are the things before getting in details. I am supposed to go to the text now. Because on Ekadashi day, 11th day of moon, both sides, your digestive fire is weaker. That day, if you eat your regular food, definitely you are slowing down your digestive fire. You are making it entirely different. Same thing also on new moon day and full moon day. Especially new moon day and full moon day, especially night, you are not supposed to have food. It is better to fast, have some liquid thing, have some fruits. Of course, if you can have some soup only without any carbo, that is also acceptable. Because your focus should be, because you people look at while having two things you look at: vitamins, carbo, because which is everything related to your body. How my body should function, how my body should respond to the food. And of course your tongue and habits. These are the things you look at all the time. But you never look at your fire aspect in life. I am also indirectly telling all of you, especially Italy people, for me at least next time when I come, never give me salad in night. Salad is not allowed to take in the night. Strictly not to be given, not to be eaten. No greens are supposed to be taken in the night, because that becomes heavier. That takes more energy, more fire to digest. Even though people say, oh, salad to digest is better. In fact, salad brings down your gastric fire. That has to be very clear, whether you people follow or not. Just indirectly I am trying to communicate to you people. Night, no greens or salad. Night you should have only one thing, not a cold thing. Once it becomes evening, warm thing or hot thing supposed to be taken, not anything cold. That's why very strictly, even though only in South India it's being allowed, they do it, which is technically wrong. This curd rice, toir sadam, is not supposed to be taken in the night. Strictly no. That's why in South India many people have this neurological problem because of this reason. Let me not get into that aspect. Because, and the worst thing in especially South India, they do it, which is not acceptable at all. Lot of complication happens and neurological problem happens, all the elderly people. I don't want to get into indigenous details. Because the toir or this curd will be sour. While eating time, they will add little milk and make it normal and eat. And sometimes they will go to the office, because in the morning, I'm sorry to say, because many of you are there, so that's why I'm talking. The worst thing which I really don't like, the laziness of people, so bad, so strong, but they talk, very big thing. Morning, whistle will start. The lady who gets up, taking shower, whatever, all these things completing, whistles after whistles, means only rice is being cooked. Sometimes when I go to somebody's house, when I listening to these whistles, I really get irritated. Morning is not whistles, because poor people, what can they do? Because child has to go to the school, husband has to go to the office, lady also has to go to the office. I understand their problem. No, but the worst part is, same rice, little bit coconut is coconut rice, little bit lemon rice. Hey, don't cheat yourself. This is called cheating, okay? So, we have varieties of rice. What do you eat? You eat nothing. And of course, sambar, I don't want to talk. You people know, those who are born and brought up. I don't want to talk. I have seen it in details. Which all are cheating oneself. And they get into all complications. And the worst thing is, which really I like, this technically wrong, they will add little bit, finally toir sadam they have to take, curd rice. Rice, little bit curd, and on the top of milk they will put it, mix it and give it. So while carrying your daba, your tiffin, when you reach your office, after 4 hours, because you have lady has given you 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock or whatever. So you will be eating at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. So in 4 hours time, this particularly that milk and curd, little bit namesake, and rice, it will be perfectly set. Is this life? I'm sorry. That's why many South Indian people have this neurological problem. You cannot think of, because this sort of things I came to know while talking to one of the Ayurvedic doctor, and they found out few diseases from South India. All were related to this bad habit of tairshadam, curd rice. Anyway, what I am trying to highlight here is, in the night, buttermilk is allowed, but not curd. In fact, in Ayurveda, strictly curd is not allowed. One is not supposed to take curd directly. Anytime you want to have curd, you can make buttermilk and have it, not curd. Because curd again brings down your gastric fire. That is what I want to highlight, nothing else, okay? So you have to make sure, don't eat food based on your habit, based on your fancies, based on you for your body, or based on looking at this carbo, this and that, all this nonsense. Please look at, when you have to take the food, ask your digestive fire, will it be able to burn it or not? Can you see the approach? You have to, when you see the food, first you have to look at how much fire is strong. Will it be able to burn or not? If it is not going to burn, God said, stop eating. Change your food. Change your food habit, makes no difference. Nothing will happen. Because the key of health is, as long as your gastric fire is stronger, what you call digestive fire, I am using the gastric fire. Digestive fire, as long as your digestive fire is strong, Jataragni, that long, no disease, nothing will come. This is the key, this is the energy, being an energetic person. That's why a yogi can eat anything and everything. This is the concept. Also, need not eat anything. Both extreme. That's why there are many ways. That's why there are asanas. For example, Mayurasana. Mayurasana helps a lot to digest food. Let me not get into all these things. So he says beautifully that we need to look at in details. Let us look at the verse number 11. Esha Surya Para Murtihi Nirvanam Dakshine Pathim Vahate Lagna Yogena Srishti Shamhara Karakaha Esha Surya Para Murtihi Nirvanam Dakshine Pathim Vahate Lagna Yogena Srishti Samhara Karakaha. Says beautifully, the right side nadi, of course, which is called Pingala, and is another form of the sun. Because if you look at this way, we say also, generally the left side, the Ida, is a very cooling effect. That's why it is very nectar, white in color, everything is, description is entirely different because it is basically cooling in nature. Whereas Pingala, we say Pingala sometimes. So Pingala nadi, Ida and Pingala. So this Pingala nadi, what happens is heating in nature. That's why connected to sun. Now he adds beautifully, is the giver of nirvana. So, paramurti nirvanam dakshine pati. So it gives the nirvana. So nirvana, this is again, please understand, especially in Buddhism, nirvana is being used for liberation. So don't look at this nirvana is here, liberation, okay? So nirvana means free from all pains. So vana means pain. The one who is free from all sort of pains is called nirvana. So that's why they took it, because they wanted to be different. They did not want to use the word moksha because they are, rebellious of Hinduism. That's why they created a different thing. So that's why they have to say something different, but it has to also communicate the same message. So they did not want this mukti, moksha, these words. Mukti means liberation. Moksha also no, they did not want. Freedom, they did not use. So they came up with a new word which also is being used very rarely in different occasions, nirvana. So that means what? There is no pain, free from all sort of pain. Because again it is a psychological word, because in Buddhism it is having only pain. You can see the reflection on their faces. However, because these are the important point please to understand is how each word changes the approach completely. One small word can change. That's why one has to be very careful related to this. However, he says, if you look at how it works, two aspects we can look at. First of all, if we see, when the breathing is predominant in your Pingala Nadi, through your Pingala Nadi, let us say, if you keep breathing, that time you will discover that body is not that much painful. Because how the pain comes, I will tell you, this pain is something very amazing thing happens. This is how I look at the pain of the body. Pain of the body happens in two ways. One is physical, other one is mental. So the physical pain happens when the fire is not strong, means like when you put lot of wood or even if less wood, so instead of completely burning into ashes, you produce more charcoal. Just observe this point. Just imagine outside fire. See, whatever you put, it should burn into ashes. It should be white in color. But instead of burning into completely white in color ashes, if only you produce charcoal, that black ones left over. So that charcoal actually creates pain in you. Just observe this point. When there is a pain in your body, you will discover your digestive fire is already weak. Have you not observed this? The pain in the body will be definitely connected to your digestive fire. That is the symptom or signal of that physical tamas. All are connected to it. So that's why I always say why it was there. Morning taking bath and having food is better than not taking bath and having food, because you renew your system. Like it's like yesterday whatever you have cooked, or in a pizzeria, whatever last time you did, will you clean everything, put in new fire, or you will keep loading in there? Unless you are a lazy person. You are supposed to clean everything and again put it back. But no, who is going to again it will be that. So put some kerosene or petrol or diesel and put some fire. You understand? It's easy, convenient. But that's not right. That's not healthy either. Just I am trying to say the concept how it works. so also in the body. So the first pain happens when there is malam, or food is not digested, or you have taken different food altogether which your body could not digest, or body has no fire, or the digestive fire is not that strong to digest. This is one reason. Second reason of the pain is very interesting, is blaming others, criticizing others. When a person criticizes others, blames others, and that becomes really habit sometimes. For no reason or some reason, you keep blaming others. That actually creates pain in your body. It works very nicely. You can see for yourself. You can really relate very carefully. And especially to whom you blame. Because remember, there is a difference between pointing out. I also do talk. Like I was talking about Buddha. I am not blaming Buddha. Please understand, I am not a person to blame. Some people might be thinking, oh, Swamiji is critical, Swamiji doesn't have anything. No, please. My job is, because I am teaching, I have to make sure that you should not have that sort of thinking, or you should not have, that sort of thinking towards anybody or anything. So my job is to communicate. Because once I complete this job, this class, Buddha is great for me. Because he is a great personality. Being a king, he could walk away from home. Whatever he did is something really amazing. Or else he would have become another ordinary king. Thousands kings have come, thousands kings have gone. But he could make something different. He has done something. We have to respect that. But when it comes to teaching, I am sorry, we cannot accept it. Because all the disaster he has brought. So here it is not blaming, it is pointing out. Remember, there is a big difference. Communicating, pointing out. But when you talk, you point out for your satisfaction. You point out to go, to give solace to yourself. To justify yourself. The best example is, we have many Puranas. Purana means epics, okay? For everything there is a Purana in India, don't worry. Nowadays new Puranas have come also. Each one is creating a Purana. Another crazy thing. I don't know whether there is something called Sasu Purana. Mother-in-law Purana. So every daughter-in-law has got a mother-in-law Purana. And of course, every mother-in-law has got daughter-in-law Purana. So, Sasu Purana, Bohu Purana, we say. So in that Purana, what is there? Day starts with, daughter-in-law say, oh, my mother-in-law is not good, this is not good, that is not good. Only blaming others. Blaming, I would rather say, each other. Nothing else. There is no communication, there is no pointing out, nothing. But interestingly, I have observed, whomsoever you blame, especially mother-in-law, daughter-in-law concept, I can say it openly. When a daughter-in-law blames mother-in-law, whatever problem the mother-in-law is having, those problem comes to daughter-in-law. It's amazing it happens. And how it happens, I don't want to talk. You can see for yourself, those who are married, can observe you through your wives, okay? If the lady is talking against your mother, especially men, or those who are other people can observe each other. It's an amazing thing. When a daughter-in-law talks against mother-in-law, whatever mother-in-law problem is having, that problem comes to daughter-in-law. Because when you keep blaming anybody, you try to get that karma astrally, you try to attract that karma astrally towards yourself. That's why If you want to be free from pain, if you have a lot of pain in your body, two things you need to take care. One is a food aspect, your digestive fire. Other one is stop blaming others. That other can be your wife, your husband, your mother, your father, your mother-in-law. Of course, is very common. That's why I brought mother-in-law without any thing. Daughter-in-law, child, anybody and everybody. Your neighbor. Stop blaming them. Because when you start blaming them unnecessarily, please understand, psychologically you can see, the moment you start blaming them, directly you reduce your digestive fire. Your digestive fire becomes weaker. And once digestive fire becomes weaker, you cannot do anything in life. Just see for yourself. If you have any pain, just a few days, don't blame anybody. And if possible, whomsoever you blame, whomsoever you have blamed, just, if you cannot say sorry, at least praise that person. You understand? If you cannot say sorry, at least praise that person. Because there will be hundreds of regions where you can praise the person. You will discover within few days, the body will start responding it. So that's why make sure these two things are going very well together. Then only you can be free from pains. That's why I took this thing, nirvana. Another aspect of nirvana here he says, actually there are two methods. Okay, when a person comes to die, generally for a common person, breathing will be predominantly in left nostril. This is the secret. 7 days before death, to be precise, the breathing will be predominantly on left nostril. It will not come to right nostril. Even if you try your level best with that person, it will not change. In fact, the person will feel suffocated. You can change the person, you can do anything, any means, it will not work. This is general death. And of course, there will be a lot of pain. Not only physical pain, worries and anxieties, a lot of pain will continue. There are exceptions also. This is what is being pointed out, because this is a very secret thing to practice, and those who have really done, then only you can understand, or else no chance, I am sorry to say. There is another option here. I was thinking to talk or not, that's why, because when I am on the class, I cannot keep anything. This is the truth. Before taking class, I will say whether to start class or not. But once I am on the class, I am on my job. I cannot. So there is another way. When also same 7 days can be on your right nostril. So when predominantly or on right nostril for 7 days continuously, and that death will not have any pain, free from all pains. That is being highlighted here, this aspect. So you can take it in 2 steps. One step is, if there is pain in your day-to-day life, make sure that right nostril breathing is stronger. Make your digestive fire stronger. And of course, astrally, don't pick up others' karma, especially bad karma, by blaming, criticizing, or talking bad behind them. Because if you maintain that, definitely your pain will be reduced. I ask all of you, please try to see this particular point. Spend few days, at least 1 week, please spend on this aspect. And I am sure you will see the result. And says beautifully, and it also keeps moving based on lagna, moves in the nadi through auspicious lagna. So lagna means a particular, a particular movement of stars. Based on that, so we says equitical science, which is lagna, we say there are a lot of calculations. So based on that, it keeps moving. That's why you need to be very careful also with reference to Pingala too. So first taking care of Ida, we'll be seeing. This is just a beginning, okay? That's why one has to be aware of it. Ida, Pingala, then Sushumna, then we'll come to Chitra. We'll be seeing many things, how it works, what it does. In fact, if it is done once in a while, this sort of class, and you spend time and really do, you will see the big difference on your face. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Dachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.